Hello there, good morning, and thank God it's Friday. This is Today News, and I am Araba Aidoo. Just ahead. Minority leader describes president's clemency request for shutdown stations as a brazen assault on the NCA's independence. Details as government gives 64 defaulting stations 30-day grace period to comply with NCA regulations. And Chairman of Parliament's Health Committee hints of significant progress in resolving nurses' strike after meeting with officials of the Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwives Association. We have details of these and other stories coming up. Please stay. Thanks for staying. And remember, you can also watch this bulletin on X and on Facebook at GHOne TV. We begin this morning's bulletin from the camp of the National Service Scheme, as investigators probing ghost names in the scheme have submitted a staggering report identifying 22 individuals responsible for alleged theft over 560 million cedis. This is just one part of a broader investigation into financial irregularities at the scheme. Now, according to the Deputy Attorney General, the investigators have so far only completed their work on the ghost names, which was submitted last week, and have started building a docket on that. The report, according to Dr. Justice Ramsai, confirmed implicates 22 individuals on the ghost names. Now, over 560 million cedis is involved in the saga. However, some of the suspects have already shown a willingness to cooperate, while some are offering to become prosecution witnesses. Away from that, some 64 stations closed down by the NCA have been given a 30-day grace period to satisfy NCA requirements for their operations after President GHOne Mahama requested clemency. Now, the stations, including Asasi Radio, Wuntumi Radio, Happy FM, and Radio GIJ, had their operations suspended by the NCA for failing to satisfy various requirements, including operating without authorization. But even before Ghanaians could properly understand and process reasons for the closures, a statement signed by the Minister for Government Communications, Felix Ofosu-Kwakye, revealed President GHOne Mahama had directed the Minister for Communications, Digital Technology and Innovation to liaise with NCA to immediately restore broadcast of the stations affected. Here's Minister for Communications, Digital Technology and Innovation, Samuel Nete-George, addressing Parliament on the matter.
Our goal is not punishment, but accountability, order, and the responsible stewardship of a public critical resource. This is not routine housekeeping. This is a declaration against impunity, abuse, and inertia. The airwaves do not belong to the powerful and connected. They belong to the public, and we are duty-bound to govern them transparently and effectively. Our fight is not against free speech. It is against lawlessness, asset misappropriation, and regulatory defiance. I remain committed to reclaiming what rightfully belongs to the Ghanaian people and laying the foundations for a fair, modern, and technologically equipped broadcasting sector. Once again, Mr. Speaker, due to the clemency His Excellency the President has asked for, there is 30 days from today for all defaulting media houses to rectify their default and breaches.
But in a sharp rebuttal to the minority leader's comments, Majority Leader Mahama Ayariga took a swab at the NPP government for debating laws and regulations enacted during the NPP's tenure.
If we sit in this house and laws are being violated and ministers are taking steps to enforce those laws, and we stand in this house and attempt to condemn those ministers, then we might as well stop coming here, because we are not here to make laws that should not be enforced. So when ministers are enforcing the laws, we should be the first to be commending them. I remember saying this about this same minister the last time he tried to enforce the law, and some members stood in this house and made statements that seemed to undermine efforts to enforce the law. This is the last thing that should be happening in this country, in this house, that we have enacted a law and a minister is enforcing the law, and we will stand in this chamber and try to take the minister on for enforcing the law. Please, let's stop it. Otherwise, there's no use being in this house.
Okay, let's now bring you what the minority leader, Alexander Fayoma, said, which made the majority leader reacted to it.
If a lawyer from Kwesimintim and a member of this house argues that he finds no problem with an administrative authority vested with regulatory powers exceeding its mandate. Mr. Speaker, all that we are saying today will be referred to tomorrow. Mr. Speaker, so I would want to encourage Honorable Sector Minister to rather deepen the engagement process as directed by the President. Some of these belated actions for the purpose of optics will not help the cause of democracy. Stay away from the punitive actions. Stay away from this excuse of you need to enforce a regulation, especially when in enforcing the regulation you may be slipping out of the confines of the court.
So that's what transpired in Parliament yesterday concerning the closure of some stations in Ghana. However, the president of the Ghana Independent Broadcasters Association, Cecil Sunkwa Mills, has commended the president's intervention for a 30-day grace period to rectify regulatory breaches or risk losing their broadcast licenses permanently. Now, reacting to the clemency granted by the president on News Tonight, Mr. Sunkwa Mills also advocated for new laws on what the NCA interprets sustain the industry.
With for the stations who were delivering news, they still have the opportunity to still deliver media whilst resolving their issues and also engaging the NCA on specific issues. I mean, I would say that we started some exercise earlier on after the first closure of 6 stations, and that there were various problems. At least today we have a category, but I think we need to bring some compliance to the industry. DEBA is against stations being compliant, so we are actually looking forward to this to happen. But at the same time, one very important thing is that we need to have an intermediary interface. Today, we are lucky we had President come out and give clemency, which has given some 30-day grace. The absence of the President clemency how would these stations get a breather for 30 days? And this is why we need to look at new laws, look at working between the platforms that the NCA regulates.
Well, let's still stay on this as Executive Director of the Media Foundation for West Africa, Suleiman Abrahima, has described position taken by Minority Leader Alexander Fayemakin as untenable, as there was a frequency breach, adding that the NPP administration undertook similar exercise. Suleiman Abrahima further cautioned that media freedom is not synonymous to blatant disregard for the law, but to ensure compliance.
Taken by my good friend, Honorable Fayemakin, is quite confusing, and I believe it is untenable. The NCA's decision, or the ministry's decision, is essentially about regulatory. In the past, it's been done. It was done under the MPP regime. We had an issue with that because it was done in a very discriminatory manner. They just targeted pro-NDC stations and shut them down. Took NPP-aligned radio stations that had committed the same regulatory breaches. I think on this occasion, when the first 6 was shut down, we had cause issue a statement to say, look, we hope that that bad precedent that was set up by the MPP in terms of very partisan way of implementing the law is not something that is being repeated. And we were given the assurance that no, there is fairness and transparency in the process. While there is fairness and transparency in the process, and it doesn't matter whether a station is owned by an MPP person or NDC person, once there's a regulatory breach, a decision is taken, we don't have a problem with that, because we cannot be advocating for impunity. We cannot say that media freedom means that people should just do anything. Laws are made for purposes. Laws are made to be complied with. And so I really find it difficult to understand what the opposition's main position.
Now, on to some good news in the health sector. As chairman of Parliament's Health Committee, Dr. Mark Nawani has described the recent engagement between Parliament and striking nurses as fruitful. According to him, the meeting, which brought together key stakeholders and members of the Health Committee, resulted in significant progress. Dr. Nawani further stated that the Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwives Association representatives requested time to consult their leadership and the Nurses and Midwifery Council before reverting to Parliament with a final decision on the strike.
We're fruitful, and we've asked, or the nurses have requested that they have to go back to their council. By their regulations, they have to go back to their council, and then we'll come back, or they'll come back, or we'll hear something from them. I think that is fair. If the Busapayers to send you to go and lead a discussion, you have to bring back the information to them first before any other issue can come out. So at this juncture, I know that you want some information more than this, but let's just exercise patience.
Well, that's some bits of good news there, as we all cannot wait for the strike to be called off. But parents have been urged to pay closer attention to the mental and emotional well-being of their children, particularly the girl child. The call comes amid growing concern over the social pressures facing the girl child. As part of efforts to provide support, the One Project Africa Foundation has reached out to students at Accra Girls Senior High School with donations and words of encouragement.
In a society where young girls face increasing pressure from school, home, and the world around them, paying attention to their mental and emotional well-being has never been more serious. At Accra Girls Senior High School, that message was brought to life through an outreach program by the One Project Africa Foundation.
One Project Africa, we were here to restore, rebuild, and invent the girls. So we were here to empower them on their mental health, how they are going to identify challenges, how they are going to deal with their emotional problems, and the challenges that they go through as adolescents. We also felt that they are being overwhelmed with their emotions. They don't know how to handle it. And they don't know even if their emotions are legit or not. So we were here to just echo it to them that their emotions are legit and give them some coping skills that they are going to use to manage them.
The foundation, led by its founder, Victoria Nema Abdullahi, spent the day interacting with students, offering mentorship and encouragement. As part of the initiative, the foundation also donated essential items and cash to support the school and its students. She also urged corporate organizations to support such character-building initiatives.
As a foundation, we have also taken it upon ourselves to assist and to aid in the mental wellness and their well-being. I mean the young girls. And so we're calling on every single individual, organizations, companies, everyone, opinion leaders, queen mothers, especially the market queens, just as JP Petroleum. They've come to our aid on countless occasions, and they are making our school outreaches possible.
Assistant headmistress of the Accra Girls Senior High School also lauded the One Project Africa Foundation for the initiative.
Apart from the education, which is very good for the students, because in the current free SHS, there's a lot of stress, and this will inform them. Even though as an institution, every now and then we give them pep talk for them to manage their stress level. But having outsiders come to add to what we do is a boost up for the girls, and I think it will go a long way to help them manage their well-being better than they've been doing.
Some students also shared their perspectives about the need to prioritize their mental well-being.
We had a great talk with the presenters because they really helped us with how we can even manage our emotions. Some of us, we have parents who are very strict and can talk to you in some ways and manner that you think they are angry, but they are literally not angry. They are just expressing their emotions out.
I learned that my mental health is a foundation for my today and for my tomorrow, and that no matter what someone says, my mental health really matters because it's about me.
I learned how to control my emotions, even though you go through painful things.
The event forms part of the foundation's broader vision to educate, empower, and uplift the girl child, urging parents and guardians to take an active interest in their daughter's emotional development.
Now, Special Envoy to the African Union Ambassador Dr. Victor Budai Annan has advocated for women empowerment and development as key focus for the African Union Agenda 2063, which is a comprehensive blueprint aimed at transforming Africa into a global powerhouse by 2063. Speaking during a award ceremony, Ambassador Victor Annan expressed gratitude to the AU for being committed to making the Agenda 2063 a lived reality for Ghanaians. He also affirmed his readiness to champion the Africa We Want agenda in Ghana.
This opportunity to champion the Africa that we want, the socio-economic and then the empowering women and girls in our continent. We have a lot of goals that have been set by the 50 years agenda of the AU Assembly, and we have been awarded the ambassadors to champion this cause. So yes, we're going to put all effort to champion these goals and make sure that we get the Africa that we want and the Ghana as well as we want. You give a woman one just small seed, she will grow it, and then so we we have the power and we have the strength, the energy, but the women has the knowledge to help us. So with our power, our strength, if their knowledge also come to help us to push it, I'm very sure that we can get to the point that we want to get, and we can get the girl child and then the women empowerment that we want in this country.
Now do some entertainment as GHOne TV's flagship entertainment program, Rhythms Live, paid a heartfelt tribute to high life legend and president of the Ghanaians Music Union of Ghana, the Musician Unions of Ghana, that's Musica, Bisa Simons. The special edition of the Legends show recognized his immense contributions to high life music in Ghana, Africa, and the global stage. Here is a wrap of what happened.
Among the icons who have preserved and promoted this vibrant genre, Bisa Simons stands tall not only as a gifted musician and performer, but as a cultural ambassador whose influence has left an indelible mark on Ghana's musical landscape. In a heartfelt tribute, GHOne TV's flagship entertainment program, Rhythms Live, celebrated the high life legend on its Legends show. The special episode featured live performances by the Inchinchim Band, who delivered soul-stirring renditions of Bisa Simons' classic hits. Love for music began in the church where he served as a chorister.
I started learning songs from a very, very tender age, learning songs from Miriam Makeba, things like that. And then I heard songs from Beatles, then songs from Millicent Small. Right. And so, I can sit behind the piano and play from morning till afternoon. Sometimes I won't even eat any lunch. I joined the choir because my dad was a choir master. Yeah. And I was this little boy who was with the big choir, not the small boys choir.
The little boy in the big choir.
In the big choir.
How opening for the legendary Osibisa band eventually led him to become a member of the band, touring across the world with the group.
So I remember he asking, Teddy, who is this? Another Kiki Jan? This and that. So yeah, he's called Bisa from Ghana, this, that. I say, yeah, boy, keep it up, and things like that. Then they called me that they had a show in Spain. And so if I'm not doing anything, I should come and play with them, play the keyboard for them. And I said, but I have to rehearse with you. He said, no. Kiki came here, he did not rehearse with them. We know you Ghanaians, you know all the songs. Let's go. So that was my first gig with Osibisa. We went to Spain, we played, I think we did about 2 shows there, and then we came back to the UK.
To Bisa Simons for graciously taking over the running of Belembe by Bisa Simons and the Inchinchim Band, it became clear that the High Life Legends music remains an integral part of Ghana's cultural heritage, a powerful testament to the enduring ability of art to unite, inspire, and transcend generations.
Alright, that's it for GH Today News with me, Araba Aidoo. For more news, log on to starfm.com.gh. And Joshua Kojomi comes up shortly with GH Today. Please stay.